Hey guys, welcome to the very first episode of my deep dive podcast series on the Manson Girls. If you've stumbled upon this, you probably share my lifelong fascination with one of the most bizarre, chilling, and endlessly perplexing cult dynamics in modern history. Specifically, I've always been interested in the Manson Girls, the women who followed Charles Manson to hell and back, and in some cases, came out the other side, or didn't. Let's back it up real quick. I've been knee-deep in this rabbit hole since 2005. Yeah, we're talking pre-Instagram, Tumblr-era obsession. I've read Helter Skelter more times than I'd like to admit, obsessed over The Family by Ed Sanders, and then plot twist, Chaos by Tom O'Neill entered the chat and my brain exploded. The CIA. Mind control. MKUltra. Oh, we're going there. Throw in Santa Susana for some extra flair, and you get a recipe for the perfect cocktail of crime, cult, and conspiracy, shaken, not stirred. And today we're starting with Mary Brunner, a.k.a. Mother Mary, a.k.a. the first Manson girl. She's the original ride or die before things got, well, murdery. Before Susan Atkins was chanting, Helter Skelter in court, and before Squeaky from Try to Shoot the President, there was Mary. And honestly, her story is so slept on. Who was Mary Brunner? All right, imagine this. Eau Claire, Wisconsin, 1943. It's giving small-town innocence, Lutheran church, casseroles at Sunday potluck. Mary Brunner, born December 17th. Yes, that makes her a Sagittarius Capricorn cusp, if you're curious, was your classic good girl. German and Scandinavian ancestry, straight-A student vibes, and a degree from the University of Wisconsin. Then, she moves to Berkeley and becomes a librarian. Literally the setup of a Hallmark movie, until Charles Manson enters the picture and things go full Netflix documentary. Mary's look? Total 60s boho chic, but minimalist. Long skirts, earth tones, barely any makeup. Long, straight, strawberry blonde hair parted in the middle. Think early Joan Baez meets introvert energy. She was smart, quiet, and honestly, a perfect canvas for Manson's manipulation. Enter Charles Manson. So Mary meets Charlie in 1967, fresh out of prison, all charm and comment energy. He moves into her apartment faster than you can say, red flag. According to Helter Skelter, she was the first to fall under his spell. And from there, it was game over. Manson starts inviting other women over like it's a social experiment gone wrong, and suddenly Mary's one of many. But at first, she wasn't just a follower. The Family by Ed Sanders notes that Mary ran the early show. Quote, Mary was responsible for getting food and arranging for money. She had a strong influence over the first recruits. Translation, she was the logistics queen before being outshined by flashier followers like Squeaky and Susan. Classic workhorse gets no credit moment. Fast forward to 1968. Mary gives birth to Manson's first child, Valentine Michael Manson, a.k.a. Pooh Bear. And let's talk about that name because, oh boy, it's not random. It's a nod to Stranger in a Strange Land, the sci-fi cult classic by Heinlein, where the main character is, you guessed it, Valentine Michael Smith, a human raised by Martians. Manson loved that book, and this name was his way of saying, my kid is the future, born to shake up the corrupt world. Wild, right? So Mary becomes Mother Mary at Spawn Ranch, taking care of the kids while diving headfirst into drugs, communal sex, and Manson's prophecy that a race war, Helter Skelter, was about to wipe the slate clean. She bought into his whole, I'm Jesus reincarnated, pitch real fast. Now, here's a fun side story. Mary and Charlie once conned an auto dealer by pretending to be a straight-laced couple. They took a car for a test drive and never brought it back. Classic Bonnie and Clyde move. Instead, they used it to cruise cross-country and gather more recruits. Iconic or chaotic? You decide. Also, remember the night of the Tate murders? Mary and Sandra Good were conveniently in jail for credit card fraud. Yep, that arrest may have kept them out of the massacre. Like, imagine missing one of the most infamous nights in history because you tried to buy stuff on someone else's dime. But don't get it twisted. Mary wasn't innocent. She was there for the murder of Gary Hinman. Alongside Susan Atkins and Bobby Beausoleil, she allegedly held a pillow over Hinman's face while Bobby stabbed him. Now here's where it gets dramatic. Mary turned state's witness to avoid a murder charge. Immunity deal sealed. In The Family, Sanders writes, Mary's betrayal was seen by some of the other girls as a break in the sacred chain, an unforgivable act that exposed the inner workings of the family to the outside world. Translation: she snitched, and they never forgot. You'd think that would be Mary's exit, but no. In 1971, she's part of a wild plan to hijack a plane and demand Manson's release. They rob a gun store in Hawthorne, 143 weapons, if you're counting, and guess what? Silent alarm goes off, police arrive, shootout ensues, and Mary ends up in prison. 6.5 years behind bars. This woman's loyalty ran deep. Now let's get spicy. In chaos, Tom O'Neill drops this bomb. There might be CIA involvement, specifically MKUltra mind control. Manson may have been part of that whole experiment. And Mary? She could have been patient zero, the first test subject to see if someone like Manson could control minds. A former cop tells O'Neill, there's no way Manson could have had the level of influence he had without outside help. Mary Brunner was his first real test, and she passed. Goosebumps, right? And after all this, Mary ghosts the world. After prison, she vanishes, changes her name, moves to the Midwest, raises Pooh Bear in secrecy. Rumors say she remarried, ditched the family legacy, and straight up refuses interviews. And her son reportedly lives quietly, no ties to his infamous parents. Where is Mary Brunner now? As of today, Mary Brunner is alive, probably living her best. Please don't recognize me. Life in Wisconsin or Minnesota. 0 public appearances, 0 interviews. Honestly, queen of the soft exit. Mary Brunner's story, total cautionary tale. Manipulation, control, the hunger to belong. She was the blueprint, the OG. And maybe disappearing was her way of reclaiming power. She didn't get immortalized in infamy like Susan or Squeaky. She dipped quietly. But, and this is key, the Manson family saga, it never really ends. There are still mysteries, unanswered questions, and rabbit holes that pull you in at 2 a.m. when you should be sleeping. Did Mary know more? Was she a pawn in a bigger game? We may never know, but we'll sure as hell keep asking. Next episode, we're diving into Susan Atkins, aka Sadie Mae Glutz, and buckle up because it's about to get real dark. Thanks for hanging out with me today. If you love this, leave a review, subscribe, or shoot me a DM with your favorite Manson theories. Let's obsess together.